Okay, so what you get in the kit is either an 8-inch tablet along with a cigarette lighter charger and USB lead. This can also be charged off your laptop or any plug-in charger. The 10-inch comes with a car charger lead, but unfortunately it doesn't charge via USB, so you would have to charge it via your car. You'll get a specific OBD2 dongle to go with whichever car you have, whether it be the 2.4 model or the 3 litre V6, and that ranges anywhere between the 2002 to 2008 models. When you've unpacked everything and you're ready to go, first of all you need to get your OBD reader, and this will go into the socket which is located just by your left knee. Once that is plugged in, we're going to turn the tablet on. I've already booted this one up. When you boot it up, you'll be greeted with this home page. The program you're going to be using is Talk. You may also need to go into the settings. First of all, we can check with the settings. Depending on whether you've got the 3 litre or the 2.4, depends on whether you're going to be using a Wi-Fi dongle or a Bluetooth dongle. In this instance, we're using a Wi-Fi one. So make sure the Wi-Fi is turned on, and you will see that it also says Wi-Fi OBD2 connected. That means that the tablet is connected to the dongle that you've installed. Next, we're going to start the car. Come back to your tablet and click on the Talk app. What you'll notice at the top is the car's flashing as it's trying to connect. The one next to that is the OBD. As you can see, it's connected. Next thing, you'll see that your RPM will actually increase to show what the car is actually doing. Now you know it's connected. There's two things now we can do with this tablet. The first one is we're going to check for faults. Normally you'll be using this because you've got an EML light on the dashboard. I've actually created a fault on the car by disconnecting the mass airflow sensor. Trying to start the car, obviously it won't. So this will have actually put a fault code into the reader. As you can see, it's picked up 2 fault codes. There's 2 things you can do now. You can click on the actual fault and it'll give you a description. You can web look up, so it'll tell you what the actual fault is, or you can close. Obviously you cannot, if you're using the Wi-Fi for your OBD, you cannot connect to the internet because it's connected to the OBD. Once you've found whatever your faults are, you can then clear them. Dots in the top corner and clear faults on the ECU. This will then come up with a warning saying, are you sure you want to do this? Click OK, and that will delete the faults. Once it's actually deleted and this is reset, we can scan again to see whether those faults have reappeared. If they've reappeared, you know there's a fault somewhere with either a sensor, anything to do with the fuel, etc. So we just go back and then we can click on the fault codes again and scan. It shows a percentage up here. Once that gets to 100%, if there's no fault codes in the list, it will say there's no faults stored. And as you can see, there is no faults. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is real-time information. This will tell you exactly what your engine's doing. The first screen that comes up will show you your revs, your speed, obviously we're not driving anywhere, your coolant temperature, your vacuum, which needs to be a stable figure, 25 is a good figure, your throttle position and your accelerator position. Second page, this is going to tell you your engine coolant again, your transmission coolant temperature, air intake temperature, mass airflow sensor showing how many gallons per second of air it's gulping, your revs per minute, and your voltage. Next thing we're going to look at is your long-term and short-term fuel trims. A good running engine will have a long-term fuel trims of round about 0, as these are. Your short-term fuel trims will fluctuate between -5 and +5. If they're minus anything up to -10 or +10, that's still okay, but you may need a cleaning issue with your MAF sensor, or it could just need a good service, or your plugs may need changing. If it's over 10, so anything like up to 25, then you have got an issue, and you're more than welcome to either message me on the Facebook page, private message me, or email me. I'll put that down in the description. Other two things you can look at is your O2 sensor voltages. They shall fluctuate between 0 or 0.1 of a volt up to 1 volt. And as you can see, both of these are actually doing that. If you just keep an eye on the fuel trims, if I rev the engine, you can see that all the fuel trims were still in tolerance, so I know there's no issue with this engine. When you finish using this, all you need to do is go back again, exit the program, and that's that. I'll now just show you quickly what it's like on the 10-inch screen. Again, open Talk app. Just go back to real-time information. You can see it's a much larger screen. Another question that's asked all the time on the forum is about towing with your 2.4 or 3 litre Alphard. When you're towing, a transmission temperature ideally needs to be 10% cooler than your engine cooler. The problem is when you're towing, the transmission cooler is actually going through the main radiator of the car, and it's basically a tube. It's not great. And when you're towing, your transmission can seriously increase in temperature. So it's advisable to have a secondary transmission cooler fitted. You can purchase them off eBay, Amazon, places like that. They're around about 30 to 80 pounds. If you can't fit it yourself, a transmission specialist or even your local garage would fit one for around about 100 pounds. But it's well worth it. If you are towing, you do not want the transmission temperature to go over 100, ideally. As soon as it gets to 115, 120, that's when the transmission fluid breaks down. Your clutches will start to wear and you will have issues. Then you're talking a £1,000 to £2,000 rebuild, as opposed to less than £100 to fit a transmission cooler. I changed the head unit in my car to an Eon On, which is an Android base, so it's very similar to the tablet. Apart from this, has all the functions of GPS, etc. On there, I also have the Talk app. I use this quite a bit when I'm actually driving to check that everything's okay with the engine, temperatures, fuel economy, and things like that. So if you're lucky enough to have a unit fitted, if not, it's something else that I can do. If you're actually in the Lancashire area, contact me again in the description below, and I'll see what I can do for you. But this is a great tool to have while you're driving along as well.